In this video, I'll give you an update on my Trading212 account, which I started earlier this year. And what I'm doing is I'm investing up to £200, only £200, buying shares on the UK stock market. I'm buying shares up to the value of £50. And when they become £2 positive, that means when they've gained £2 and they've gone from 50 to £52, then I'm selling them and looking for another share to buy. In doing so, I'm learning about shares, I'm learning about the stock market, and I'm just having a bit of fun doing it. Since my last trading update in early November, when I bought an IPO, an initial public offering of a company called Birkenstock on the US stock market, the UK stock market has been relatively flat. It's not done anything. In fact, it's gone down. However, more recently, the latest figures that have come out of the UK have been fairly positive, especially on inflation, where the UK is now catching up with the rest of Europe and US, and our inflation's dropping. What this has done, it's had a positive effect on the stock market, and it suggests that interest rates are either going to remain as they are or they're going to come down, which is obviously really good news for businesses because it means that they don't pay so much for the money they borrow. And what that's had a positive effect, and it's pushed up prices slightly more recently. So that's been good for my account. What I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to sell 2 shares because I've got 2 shares that I bought some time ago that have finally become £2 positive. And I'm just going to go through the motions of selling those shares online with you now. And you can see how that happens and the impact that has, how easy it is to buy and sell shares effectively. So what I'll do, I'll jump on my computer now and I'll go through the motions. I'll show you where my account is. I'll show you what the shares I've got and what position I'm in for each of them. And we'll go through and sell a couple of these shares and you can see exactly how that happens. So here I am on my account. I'm on my computer. So I'm just going to have a look at where my account is now. And as you can see, I'm now standing at £235.57, which is £10 more than it was back in the beginning of November. As I said, the stock market has picked up a little bit in the last week or so, and that's actually moved my account up by £10, which is fabulous. I'll just run through where the stocks are. So Birkenstock is the IPO that I purchased. It's been up and down, up and down. So one day it's in positive territory, another day it drops off negative. Imperial Brands is at 15p positive. National Grid now £2.08 positive, that's over 4%. So I'm going to sell that share today. NatWest Bank is my biggest concern. It's now dropped to £7.90, which isn't as bad as it was because it was right down to about £12 negative. So it has picked up, but it's sort of stabilised around that sort of £7 to £8 negative mark, which is a bit of a concern. So I'm hoping over time banking stocks improve and that comes back. PayPal, that's a completely another story. So I'm not bothered about that one. And then the other share that I'm going to sell is Taylor Wimpey. I bought Taylor Wimpey for just about £20 because that's all I had in my account available, because I saw that building companies were just starting to rise and there was lots of positive talk about house building in the UK. So I thought I would jump into Taylor Wimpey and spend £20, and it's really paid off because from £20 I've made £2. I'm up 10%, so that's a really, really positive number. I've noticed that Taylor Wimpey share has flattened off now. It's not rising. It was rising steadily, and it actually got to about £2.60, so it's dropped off a little bit. So I'm going to sell that today as well, and obviously, accrue my gains to receive my gains from that, and then I'll look on to buy something else. So overall, I'm really happy that I'm at 235. I was obviously at 239 at one stage, but obviously you win some and you lose some, so it's okay. I'm pleased with the progress I'm making. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go into National Grid. Actually, interesting what's happened. Both Imperial Brands and National Grid were really quite high, but I'll go into Imperial Brands and I'll show you show you what I mean. So towards about a week ago, Imperial Brands were really quite high up at 1876, and then on one day they lost a lot of the momentum, and that's the same for National Grid. That's because their ex-dividend date was the 23rd of the 11th. So when at the end of the 23rd of the 11th, if you own shares in that company at that point, then you would gain a dividend. After that point, you don't. So that's why the share price was high. So that's dropped off a cliff, unfortunately, but it's starting to regain, and it's much the same as National Grid. That dropped off, but National Grid's gained quite a lot again, and that's why I'm in a position to sell it. So let's do some selling. So I'm on National Grid, and I'm going to sell my National Grid shares. So I clicked on sell. I want to sell all 5 shares, and I will get a £51.39 return, which is it's up 1% today. So I'm going to review my order. I'm selling all 5 shares for National Grid. I'm going to gain £2 for it, and then send sell order. So that's as simple as that. I've sold those National Grid shares now. I no longer own them. And I'm going to do exactly the same thing for Taylor Wimpey. So Taylor Wimpey, as you can see, is down by 0.79% today. So I'm going to sell those and receive my £2.20 gain. So I'm going to click on sell. I'm going to sell all 18 shares. I'm going to sell them at £22.78. It asks me to review my order. And once it's happy, you can say send sell order. So that's it. They've gone as well. So I no longer own Taylor Wimpey, and I no longer own National Grid shares. So now my next step is to look for another share to buy, and I'll buy into that, and then I'll sort of sit and wait until that gains £2, and then I'll sell it. Thank you very much indeed for watching. I hope watching these trading videos is interesting for you. I know it's not for everybody. I know many people are turned off by these sorts of things, but I just want to show you that there's more to life than just photography and cameras, and there's other things that people do. Thank you very much for getting this far and watching this video. That's really, really great that you have done. If you obviously like the video, then I would be really pleased if you would give it a like. And if you like this trading content that I'm doing and trying to keep up with what I'm doing with this share trading, then why not subscribe to the channel? Because I'll be doing hopefully a regular share trading update for you over the coming months and however long I keep going on this thing. Once again, thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheerio.